After that, the club is overrun with thirsty.
Number 20. Adam Driver's bird mishap. Career day. The bird incident guaranteed this sketch immortality, but it was pretty amazing even before that point. Driver plays a curmudgeonly oil baron attending career day at his son's high school.
Greetings, children. I'm Mordecai's father. Hello, boy. How are you? Look at your father, boy.
He ruthlessly attacks his son for his lack of strength, berating him in front of the entire class.
Point to the weakest in your class, and we shall ruin their spirit as I ruined the spirit of H.R. Pickens so long ago.
While we could point to Pete Davidson breaking character, and honestly, who could blame him, things truly go off the rails when Driver produces a fake bird from a burlap sack and smashes it into the ground. He then slams his cane into the bird by accident, skewering it with a fury typically reserved for a bloody historical drama. We've said it before, and we will say it again. Abraham H. Parnassus deserves his own film.
I crushed you into the ground, and now your bones turn to oil beneath my living feet.
Number 19. The Hungry Dog. Massive Head Wound Harry. If you're squeamish, you might want to look away now. Among Dana Carvey's countless memorable characters during his SNL tenure was Massive Head Wound Harry.
Hey, great party!
While we don't learn the gory details behind the injury, it's bad enough that part of his brain is hanging out. The other partygoers are disgusted by the wound except one, a dog. As the dog feasts on the wound, Carvey has to keep one hand on the headpiece to keep it from coming off entirely. Eventually, the dog manages to tear off some of the wig, and we don't know whether to laugh or hurl, or both. Number 18. 80 Bryants' bungled costume change. Inside the Beltway.
Good morning and welcome to Inside the Beltway, where we look at what's happening up in Washington.
When done correctly, a costume change can be a useful tool in a live broadcast, transporting characters across time and space by swapping out one or more articles of clothing. However, when done poorly, it can lead to embarrassment, character breaks, and Saturday Night Live infamy. Such is the case during this season 45 sketch featuring 80 Bryant, Cecily Strong, Kenan Thompson, and host Woody Harrelson.
I mean, remember what happened 5 months ago. Let's take a look.
The plan was to have the cast switch clothing between clips to give the impression of a news flashback. But an overzealous aide comes on stage and attempts to take 80 Bryant's coat while the cameras are still rolling.
He gonna win.
The flub is obvious to viewers as well as the studio audience, and it causes all 4 actors to break character.
Wow, Mr. Maddox, I'll admit that you were onto something back then.
Number 17. Uncooperative Dogs. Dog Court. Actor and comedian W.C. Fields once said, "Never work with animals or children," possibly because both are unpredictable.
Don't take justice into your own hands. Take them to dog court with me, Judge Connie Schomburg.
Well, considering our earlier entry and this current one, we doubt the writers at SNL had ever heard this quote before. How else can you explain their decision to use multiple dogs in the 2019 sketch Dog Court? Things actually get off to a pretty good start, despite the number of dogs present. However, things quickly go off the rails when Cecily Strong attempts to deliver a verdict while holding a pug.
Well, let me tell you something. Woo! The dog park is a place for fun and tolerance, okay? I should be so lucky.
The pooch thrashes around violently in her arms, knocking around her glasses and generally being an adorable nuisance. The lesson? Dogs and live TV don't mix.
Okay, you two. Tell me what's what. Make it snappy.
Number 16. An almost perfect escape. Whiskers are we. Here's yet another occasion where the animals steal the spotlight. Kate McKinnon is joined by Tiffany Haddish for this iteration of a recurring, or is that repurring sketch, which features rescued cats up for adoption.
And this is Claudia. Hey!
Haddish acts fast when their feline friends try to jump out of their box, even delivering an impromptu joke that makes McKinnon momentarily break character.
I got the pussy.
Hilariously, for the duration of this sketch, they have to keep one eye on the cue cards and another on the box thanks to the exceptionally restless cats. One cat gives his human co-stars quite a fright, causing them both to break, while Haddish demonstrates her own cat-like reflexes.
You won't have to worry about shedding with Toby.
He shaved everything off for a gay circuit party.
Number 15, Brower's wires get crossed. Weekend Update, Bennett Brower. Chris Farley's Bennett Brower was a staple character on Weekend Update in the 90s.
I don't understand what's going on in the news. I'm not likable.
He was usually invited to provide commentary for the comedy news show, but instead he'd go on a self-deprecating tirade with an abundance of air quotes.
He'd rather get his 2 cents from commentators who don't make babies cry.
In this episode, he's meant to lift off and fly mid-rant, but the wires got caught on the lights and he barely makes it off the ground.
Look at Kevin! But I'm doing something!
As Update host Kevin Nealon and a stagehand try to help, Farley takes it all in stride. However, rumor has it that his landing wasn't so smooth sailing either, making this one of SNL's most iconic bloopers. Number 14, Larry David can't stop laughing. New wife. You know those moments where something makes you laugh and you just can't stop?
The gay world isn't just one thing. It's a complex tapestry of cultures. You know, like South America.
In this sketch that supposedly spoofed Real Housewives star Erica Jane, Larry David plays a lawyer who throws a party to introduce his colleagues to his new wife.
Get out! Just get the hell out! I want you off the property now! Get out! You're fired! Get out!
It seems that this sketch was a tad too outlandish for the comedian, as he eventually reached a breaking point and simply could not recover.
We want to be at power bottoms for her. You know, 3:30 a.m. performance.
It was an unexpected surprise for fans who are more used to his dry comedic delivery, but it is a memorable moment all the same. We honestly don't know how the rest of the cast didn't break with him.
Because after that, the club is overrun with thirsty.
Number 13, Unsuppressed Smiles. The Californians. Stewart has cancer.
So you're gonna take Candy View Drive over to San Vicente, and then make a left and go 405 north. From there, just get off Mulholland.
Totally like that.
The Californians is one of the most popular recurring segments in recent Saturday Night Live history, thanks in part to its continuously star-studded roster and the countless character breaks it's caused.
Stuart, why are you him so early?
I skipped Wilshire and took Beverly over to Santa Monica and took that all the way up.
Hey, dude, yeah, I just came over to fix the speakers, the outside speakers on the patio. I think they sound pretty good.
Few would argue that the first iteration of the sketch was the funniest, and those same people would likely agree that it was also the most out of control. Kristen Wiig and Fred Armisen can barely make it through a sentence in their ridiculous Californian accents, stifling laughter at every turn. However, the worst offender is Bill Hader, who all but gives up on staying in character the moment Fred Armisen opens his mouth. We believe you can safely file this one away in the so bad it's good category.
Just get on the chin and get out of here!
Number 12, Candace Bergen's Stupid Mistakes, the Right to Extreme Stupidity League. This moment could not have worked out better if it had actually been scripted. It didn't take much to make Candace Bergen break after her minor mistake, but the irony of her flub was not lost on anyone.
You're not too bright, are you, Fern? I mean, whatever your name was.
In fact, it pretty much fuels Gilda Radner's legendary quick wit, as she inserts her own quips that just make Bergen and the audience, of course, laugh even harder.
You know, we all can't be brainy like Fern here.
Sure, the original plan for the sketch might have gone out the window, but we think we can all agree that it could not have beat this impromptu updated version anyway.
And I should know, and so should Fern, because we are extremely stupid people.
Number 11, Shawn Hayes and Jimmy Fallon break character. Jeffries. Jimmy Fallon is quite famous, or make that infamous, for breaking character. So no surprises that this is just one of his appearances on our list.
You wear Quicksilver swimming trunks.
Yeah, I do. What? They're cool.
Yeah, look, we don't carry diesel. We work at Jeffries. We read Italian Vogue. It's our deal.
He's joined here by Shawn Hayes to play retail workers in a high-end clothing store, who never miss a beat to make catty remarks to their customers. Jimmy struggles to suppress a smile before the sketch has even started, and it isn't long before both are trying to contain their laughter. However, Will Ferrell entering on a scooter and answering a tiny cell phone proves too much, and they both just dissolve into fits of laughter.
We're going to the Dolce & Gabbana show. How fast can you have your bags packed for Milan?
got my Jack Spade bag packed already. My Paul Smith does.
Number 10. The cast losing it. Debbie Downer, Disney World. Debbie Downer is one of the funniest characters that SNL has produced in its long history.
Ever since they found mad cow disease in the U.S., I'm not taking any chances. It can live in your body for years before it ravages your brain.
She made her debut in 2004, flanked by host Lindsay Lohan and a handful of comedy legends. However, no amount of talent could have saved this sketch from devolving into one giant character break.
Media is so sensitive there, so secretive.
Juxtaposing Debbie's depressing facts and anecdotes with the innocence and happiness of a place like Disney World is pure comedic genius. Any chance Lohan and company had of making it through the sketch in one piece disappeared the moment Rachel Dratch broke during a slow zoom on her face. From that point on, the question wasn't if everyone would break, but when.
I can't have children.
Number 9. Frankensteins Monster gets fired up. Succinctly speaking. In the late 80s, SNL brought together Tonto, Tarzan, and Frankenstein's Monster due to their limited grasp of the English language. In fact, Frankenstein's Monster pretty much speaks in a series of grunts and growls, other than occasionally informing us that bread good and fire bad.
Bread good.
All right. It's hard to say what exactly about the then current nuclear arms treaty causes the usually straight-faced Phil Hartman to break in this moment, but when he does break, he goes down hard.
Fire bad.
Due to the unexpected timing and the fact that it specifically came from Hartman, this is easily one of SNL's funniest character breaks of all time.
Join us next week when we'll be talking with the cavemen from Quest for Fire. Thank you.
Number 8. Ryan Gosling's Giggles, Close Encounter. You know you've penned an A+ sketch when you get an Academy Award nominee like Ryan Gosling to break.
Wow. What floor were you guys on? I woke up in a dirty metal dome and 40 little gray aliens watched me pee in a steel bowl.
The Canadian actor was unable to maintain his composure in the face of Kate McKinnon's hilarious retelling of an alien abduction.
And how did the aliens return you all to Earth?
I was carried down gently.
McKinnon's graphic story actually makes everyone on stage break at one point or another, and it's clear that she relishes her ability to make her peers crack up. Gosling was once again the victim of McKinnon's superior comedic talent when he appeared in another Close Encounter 2 years later. However, this time it was McKinnon's handsy approach that had him in stitches.
They'd take one cheek, kind of jiggle it, prime it, and they were making a sound the whole time like...
Number 7. Bill Hader's Mad Maneuvers, Girlfriend's Game Night. Bill Hader hosted SNL for a second time in 2018, and while he had a number of hilarious sketches, nothing tops Girlfriend's Game Night. Though not for the reason you'd expect.
Hi. Sorry we're late. It's been a chaotic week. Horace's sons are suing me again. Horace, where are you going? To the Chicago... Oh, Horace!
Hader played Horace, a wheelchair-bound senior citizen dating a much younger woman. The two attend a game night together, but Horace's inability to control his electric wheelchair nearly causes him to flip the table.
Horace, slow. Horace.
Later in the sketch, he puts it in reverse and nearly runs over Melissa Villaseñor. Set breaks and character breaks ensue. And through it all, Bill Hader looks like he's having the time of his life.
You know what? You should be ashamed of yourselves.
Number 6. Jimmy Fallon tries not to laugh. The Lovas with Barbara and Dave. As we've already noted, it doesn't take much to make Jimmy Fallon break, so putting him in this sketch was really just asking for trouble.
Barbara, what brings you to the prestigious Wellesley Arms?
The Lovas is a recurring sketch featuring an eccentric, overtly sexual couple who have no concept of boundaries.
Anticipation of lovemaking that will take place in this hot tub in less than 12 minutes.
I'm getting kind of pruny. I'm out.
Wait.
No matter how hard he tries, Jimmy just can't keep a straight face.
That's unbelievable.
In Jimmy's defense, however, Will Ferrell has since explained that these characters were created with the actual intention of causing his co-star to break. It certainly does the trick, even perhaps too well. as the rest of the actors end up in a fit of giggles too.
Somewhere in the distance, we heard the pounding of native drums.
Number 5. John Belushi's Wild Swing, Samurai Stockbroker. Few SNL sketches illustrate just how far live television has come quite like this one. The scene in question involved John Belushi playing one of his most popular recurring characters, a modern-day samurai. Every appearance of the character saw him in a different profession, from samurai tailor to samurai psychiatrist. However, the one we're here to talk about is the Samurai Stockbroker episode. In it, Belushi's sporting his trademark samurai look, which includes a katana. At one point, he starts to attack a wall with the blade, but in his fever, accidentally hits Buck Henry in the head. You can clearly see Henry stumble backwards, and for the rest of the episode, he had a band-aid on his head. So, yeah, live TV and swords also don't mix. Number 4. The sketch that ruined Christopher Walken's life. More Cowbell.
Don't fear the Reaper. Take one, roll it.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
This wildly weird premise, combined with everyone involved constantly breaking, made this sketch an instant fan favorite and cultural phenomenon.
Fellas, it was sounding great, but I could have used a little more cowbell.
Farrell created his character after hearing a faint cowbell in Blue Oyster Cult's 1970s classic Don't Fear the Reaper, and wondering about the man behind the instrument.
I'm telling you, fellas, you're gonna want that cowbell on the track.
Between Walken's deadpan delivery and Farrell's eccentric character and tiny shirt, this sketch is so ripe for someone to break character. And it doesn't take long before everyone does.
I'd be doing myself a disservice and every member of this band if I didn't perform the hell out of this.
Although Walken can be seen laughing, we're not sure it was still as funny for him when fans would continue to quote more cowbell at him long after the season ended.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
Number 3. Chris Farley's Full Moon, UFO Mission.
Let me go in there, because I've got a hankering to kick some butt!
There's very little Chris Farley wouldn't do for a laugh, which makes it impossible to decipher if this moment was actually intentional or not. In this sketch about commandos investigating a spaceship that's landed on Earth, Farley takes the commando part quite literally. Despite this being a space-themed sketch, none of us were quite prepared to see a full moon. According to his co-star Jay Moore, as Farley wrestled with his pants, he also bumped his head and almost cursed. Needless to say, no matter what else happened during that show, this is the moment everyone remembers. Number 2. Stefan at all times. Various. Arguably Bill Hader's most memorable Saturday Night Live character, Stefan never failed to bring the laughs during his visits to the Weekend Update news desk.
His knees look like biscuits. And he's ready to party.
The character was the brainchild of Hader and then SNL writer John Mulaney, and he became a hit thanks to his off-the-wall New York City party recommendations and sassy attitude. However, Bill Hader simply could not make it through a Stefan appearance without breaking character.
I'm really glad you made sure to make that not insensitive.
He'd constantly cover his mouth to hide his laughter, something that was often due to him not seeing the jokes for the first time until he was on the air. While Hader's breaks may have constituted a sketch gone wrong when Stefan first debuted, nowadays they're considered part of the act, and we would not have it any other way.
This place has everything. Asbestos, lupus, the magazines at Supercuts, Dan Cortez.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions. Jimmy Fallon thrown off by the teleprompter. Weekend Update.
An Indiana man was convicted of public indecency for letting his genitals... Get rid of this thing. What is it?
Chaos.
It's chaos.
Kate McKinnon breaks character. Weekend Update, Smokery Farms.
I'll tell you. A lot of me. And the scent is strong.
Can you spell character break? Spelling Bee.
Your word is little pig boy.
Number 1, Down by the River. Matt Foley, Van Down by the River.
All right, how's everybody?
The amazing Chris Farley clearly had the magical touch that could make anyone break. And nowhere was that more apparent than with his most iconic character, Matt Foley, the antithesis of an effective motivational speaker.
First off, I am 35 years old. I am divorced, and I live in a van down by the river.
In Foley's SNL debut, he had host Christina Applegate and cast member David Spade breaking almost instantly, thanks to his wild, erratic demeanor.
From what I've heard, you're using your paper not for writing, but for rolling doobies.
His hilarious delivery is only matched by the physical comedy, which included lifting Spade and breaking a table.
Here's you, here's Matt, there's you, there.
Everything about this character almost seems like it was created with the intention of causing his co-stars to break. Soon after, Matt Foley became an SNL regular. And to that we say, well, la-di frickin' da.
I'm sick and tired of living in a van down by the river.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.